Hey everybody, Daniel Fusco here, and welcome to today's 2-minute message. So I want to encourage you today to give peace a chance. Now, many of you remember that song, John Lennon, Yoko Ono, all we are saying is give peace a chance. Now, what's interesting about the idea is they got it right on, but for most of us, when we think of peace as the absence of any sort of conflict. And in a sense, that is peace, but actually, just the absence of conflict isn't actually peace the way the Bible defines it. The word peace in the Hebrew language is the word shalom. And shalom at its core doesn't just mean the absence of conflict. It actually means a universal flourishing of not only humanity, but all that God has created. It's when everything works together, adding the parts that it means to, so that everything is blessed, that everything works the way things should work. And in the midst of this universal flourishing, that is truly what peace is. And so, yes, we want the absence of conflict, but actually shalom is so much deeper and greater. Now, I know some of you are saying, okay, so that's great, but like, how can I be involved in everything flourishing in a universal sense? And I'm so happy you asked that question, because for many of us, we can't make a decision that's going to bring universal flourishing to everything. But actually, when you and I choose to simply respond to Jesus and not just respond out of our own brokenness, not just do what feels right in the moment, not just get all up into our feelings, our flesh and our emotions and lash out at everything, each time we simply respond to Jesus, we are actually adding a little piece of that universal flourishing. Let me give you an example. So by nature, I'm a very passionate and an emotional person. And sometimes when I respond to a situation, I do not respond with kindness. I do not respond with grace. I do not respond with love. I can respond very tersely. I can use words. I'm pretty quick with words. That's why I'm always talking to you guys on these videos and all this stuff, is because I can use words. And when I don't respond with kindness and with grace and with love, even though I might be truthful in what I'm saying, or I might really feel that, when I respond in that way, I'm actually not increasing the shalom. I'm actually hurting people with my words. And in that way, me responding, even if I really believe what I'm saying, the way that I'm responding is actually undercutting my ability to be able to be an agent of peace in this world. And the thing is, that's not only true for me, that's true for all of us. Every single day, we are either adding to God's shalom or we are furthering the divide where everything isn't working the way it ought to. When we simply respond to Jesus, He begins to adjust our lives, amend our lives, so that we make all sorts of different decisions with the way that we entertain ourselves, different decisions the way we treat other people, different decisions the way we choose to be caretakers for our community, our world, the environment. All these different things are tied up into the ways that we live because we trust in Jesus. And I want to encourage you to give peace a chance. Simply respond to Jesus. Live out what the Bible says and watch how you become a change agent in order for flourishing can happen, not only for all humanity, but for all of God's created order. So that's what I want you to do. First, I want you to share this video, because could you imagine what would happen if all of us began to simply respond to Jesus in such a way that God's shalom begins to take root? Jesus did say we want God's kingdom to come and His will to be done on earth as it is in heaven. So it's something that God is wanting to do right now in our midst as we prepare the way for the return of Jesus. And in the comment section, how can you step into being an agent of God's peace, that shalom, helping things flourish the way it ought to at street level where you live, so we can learn from one another. And God bless you today.